Hello, MCM Glasgow, how are we? Bit louder than that. Hello, MCM Glasgow, how are we? Thank you very much. We are joined on stage by Chris Barrie and Hattie Hayridge. Am I right with that, Hattie?
Hi.
How are we all? Yeah.
Hello.
Chris is on. Share the mic, guys. Share Hattie's.
Share the mic? Okay.
Yeah, I think that'd be much better.
Share
Yeah, you could share. Yeah, and I'll shout. Yeah.
Hello? That works. Does that
Yeah.
work? Yeah, that works.
So, how are you both?
Fine.
Fine, absolutely fine. Yeah, Chris, yourself, you fine?
Yes, I'm fairly fine. I haven't been to Glasgow for 6 years, so it's good to be back. About time, I would have thought, for me. And it's been a good couple of days, and everyone's been really good, so happy days.
I was about to say, how have the fans been with you? Like, have you had a good reception from the fans? Very talkative?
Yes. I'm quite talkative as well sometimes, so that probably annoys some fans who have to wait behind me talking a load of old bullshit, and I'm sorry about that. But yeah, no, everyone's been very talkative. It's been, as I say, it's really good to be back in Scotland.
Have you and Hattie seen any... Oh, playing Star Wars there.
That might work now, I'm just saying. There's lots of lights going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you, Hattie? No?
Hey.
Fine, thanks.
So, have you seen any Holly and Rimmer cosplays around that you've been really impressed with? Haven't seen any?
No,
Here, Hattie, get rid of the rubbish.
I'm not.
Yeah, any Holly or Rimmer cosplays that you've been really impressed with?
I've seen Rimmer ones. I've seen lots of Rimmer outfits. The favourite is often that Rimmer in a gingham dress, which I think is great. That's my favourite.
Yeah.
Rimmer in a gingham dress with the little pigtails. Quarantine. That's a good one. I haven't seen a Holly. Very, very occasionally see someone in a blonde wig with their head stuck through a television screen. So, but I haven't seen one here today. So, if anyone goes and finds an old television screen off a skip and puts on a blonde wig, they'll be the only one, I think.
Oh, good.
No, I've seen several really good Rimmers over the weekend, probably better than the ones that appeared in the show. I've seen today the most impressive has been the Holly Hop Drive. Someone came as a Holly Hop driver. A lady was, which was top work, I thought. And yeah, also Rimmer with Mr. Flibble has been here as well. We've seen a couple of very good ones of those. So yes, all good.
Very good. I mean, there's a guy here, and I think he looks like you, a younger version. If you'd like to come up and sit...
This gentleman, yeah.
This gentleman right here looks like a younger version of you. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Come
here.
up.
Come up. Stand side by side. Stand side by side.
There we go.
Absolutely brilliant. Look at this.
There we go. Pull your
Older, younger.
pull your most Rimmer-esque face, yeah. There we go. Good lad.
Thank you very much.
Right, get off.
Yeah.
Let's do. Oh, high five. Right, an unrimmery thing to do. Oh, yes, better. This guy's been rehearsing clearly.
That's it.
We're not retiring just yet. Thank God, he says. So, top man. Good age, by the way. No, good to see. Yeah, we've got to look over our shoulder, you know.
That's it. So, Hattie, when you joined the cast, was it quite daunting going on to set with the guys, being Red Dwarf, or was you quite comfortable with it?
I was in the last episode of Series 2, and that was the only episode I was meant to be in at the time. So I hadn't seen it at all, because Series 2 obviously hadn't gone out, and I hadn't seen Series 1. And I knew Norman from the comedy circuit, so he lent me all the videos of Series 1 that he'd copied off the telly, because that's all there was at the time. So his ones were copied off the telly, and he went, "Oh, this is what you're going to be in, Hattie. Good luck." And no, it's not daunting. I did the comedy circuit, and everyone on that was a bloke, so I'm not daunted by going into a room full of blokes.
Yeah.
And they're great, and they're a real laugh, and it's good 30 years on to still be meeting up with them all the time. So that's fantastic.
Good. So, when you both started Red Dwarf, did you ever feel like it would go as far as it's gone? Like, did you think, oh, we'd film maybe, I don't know, 3 series and that would be it? Or would you...
Look, I think when we first started, it was such a different show even when it started that we all thought this would either, gain a cult or a following and go from strength to strength, or it would just disappear after one series.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it was the former. And here we are 29 years later.
Yeah.
I didn't realise it would go for 29 years, that's for sure. But I never thought we'd ever be on the set of Coronation Street. That's something else. But no, we're look. If one of your questions is why do you think it's lasted this long, there's a myriad reasons why, possibly.
Yeah.
But it's difficult to put your finger on it, really, because I just don't know. It creates its own world. Science fiction, it sometimes can date slightly better than standard sitcoms, But even then, it's we've been going a long time. We had the big gap, of course. We did try and get a movie off the ground, but Back to Earth in many ways was that.
Yeah.
The result of that, and then we realised that maybe it's best to do just series of 6, as in the classic series, 1 to 8, and that's what we're doing now.
So, Hattie, your thoughts on that, about the longevity of it? Did you ever foresee it being such a long-standing?
No, because even though I'm wearing black, I'm not a witch. It's no, I think it's because the people love the characters.
Yeah. And
the stories are good, and it's just brilliant.
Good. So have you got any kind of stories from the set?
I don't know, you don't look at... I mean, do you know what you're going to be doing in 29 years' time? No, you don't really think like that, do you, in a way?
I know, but some kind of actors that I've met that are kind of...
We weren't actors. None of us were actors.
No.
That was what the difference
was. That's what I mean. Chris is like...
No, we're all from the comedy circuit. We were all from the burgeoning comedy circuit at that time, really. So Danny was a proper dancer, and we weren't actors, which is why we had more fun, because we were just involved in it and excited to be in something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just thought, wow, I can't believe I'm in something and it's this brilliant.
Right.
I think you got it there, Hattie. Yeah, it was. I'm not entirely sure about the actors thing, but no, you're absolute. No. I speak for myself, because she's right. We were special acts, weren't we? Put together, brought together by Rob and Doug and Paul Jackson. And I think we were I'd worked with Rob and Doug before, so I knew how amazing their writing, has been. And it was a thrill to be able to be in a series, with such high quality material. So, that was the start. And since Doug has been writing on his own, it's in some ways even better.
Good. So have you got any kind of stories from set?
I'll get into trouble for that.
Have you got any funny stories from set, from working together? Any funny stories that's come up? No?
Any funny stories?
Any mishaps or anything like that?
They kind of were along the way. It's one of those questions that is asked, and then when I'm walking back to the seat over there, I'll remember about 5 different stories that were. I don't know how funny it was, but I always remember that when I think I was Ace rescuing Lister in this frantic storm back in series 4 or 5 or something, and there was a wind machine that we were using to create the storm. And so what they were doing, and it was a Volkswagen Beetle-powered wind machine, so it's quite powerful. I think it might have been Dimension Jump. Yeah. And, of course, they switched on the machine, and to create the storm, they had the wind, and they needed a bit of water as well, so they chucked these gallons of water into the path of the wind machine, and Craig and I were up there, and Ace was saying, okay, Davey boy, yes, stick with me, we're going to get out of this one, all this kind of stuff. And of course the water was going into I think both of us nearly drowned. So, as I say, not that funny.
Yeah,
but Listy and I, Craig and I, were sort of saying. Doug was sort of saying, yeah, really good guys. Yeah, great stuff, guys. You know. And Craig was saying, yeah, we nearly drowned, but you know, I'm glad you got the shot. This kind of stuff. But yeah, it was. There were all sorts of moments like that.
I just grabbing that to add to that one because I didn't usually go on location, and they did that one just outside the studio. And I know that they deliberately used freezing cold water, and it was November. Oh. So they were having a laugh. It was very much more funny for us watching than it was you doing it. And they deliberately did it. So when they went to speak, they just threw an extra bucket of water in their face. So that was one of my favourite being a sadist.
The Red Dwarf set sounds really a fun place to be. What is the atmosphere like on set? Is it professional at times? Very, you know, concentrating on your role?
It is professional at times, yeah.
So yeah, it's sort of
yeah, I think it's very professional.
Yeah.
We have our own way of getting there, you know, and you know the chemistry. You know, the sort of banter, if you like, between myself and Craig and Danny and Robert is, you know, we worked together for so long that, you know, we know how to work a scene through, and with Doug there sort of editing, if you like, as we go along. It's you know, it is professional, but each show has its own way of doing it, and we've had a magnificent crew. Who now, you know, series 11 and 12 are all fans, you know, so they've always gone that extra mile to you know, while working in the studio. So but a high level of professionalism to get a show done that, you know, sometimes we need a studio that's that bit bigger, we need a time schedule that's that bit longer, a budget that's a bit bigger, you know, so you need top work with those restrictions.
Hattie, you said that you was away from set. What is your? Did you? But what's your like when you record your bit?
I'm there 6 days. I did it. I was there 6 days a week, okay. Same as them.
Yeah.
I was pretty. Look, I tell you what, I can re-thing it almost.
Okay.
It was pretty much this.
Oh, black screen.
Against a black background, wearing a black polo neck jumper. So. That's the low techness of it.
But it's effective nonetheless, you know, that with you on the screen.
But now I've told you, you'll slightly see the shoulders of the black polo neck jumper, and you'll go, oh, that's really ruined it now.
So how fun was it doing the new series? Like, obviously, like you said, you work together well. You know, was it just back to old routine, like you said, straight away from the off?
Yes, I mean, since we did Back to Earth in 2009 and then Series 10 in 2012, it is, you know, we've hit the ground running again.
Yeah.
We see a lot of each other at conventions, of course. So it was, you know, like putting on a good old stout pair of boots.
Yeah.
You know, getting back into the old routine, getting the dialogue going. Very much quite straightforward, really. As I say, a quarter of a century plus, you don't really, you know, it's part of the DNA now, part of inbuilt.
So,
yeah, was it? DNA was an episode. I'm being reminded.
So we'll do a bit of Comic-Con. So basically, you played Hillary in Tomb Raider. Yeah, Butler.
Indeed.
Would any of you two take a role up in, say, a Marvel film or something like a Butler or something like that if you was offered that part?
Sorry, sir.
Marvel or DC, like a famous Butler or a superhero or something like that if you was approached?
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. Could you think of one off the top? Yeah, I know he was a Butler, yeah. But anything from, like, say, you'd play Alfred in Batman or something like that, or?
I'd like to play Batman in Batman.
Oh, that's it.
Call me ambitious or a bit old-fashioned.
If you'd like to do that, yeah, it's it.
I don't think I couldn't make it as Robin. Do you know, Rimmer and Lister as Batman and Robin.
That'd be brilliant, like a Del Boy Rodney kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, Batman. Do you know, I was a bigger fan, I think, of the Adam West. Obviously, I grew up, you know, when that was on TV. So it was compulsive. It was definitive viewing. That was.
Yeah. What about you, Hattie? Any superheroes you'd like to maybe be involved in their world, or you'd like to be?
Well, I'd be interested to see what I got offered, and then I'd choose from there.
Choose from there, yeah. That's no worries. So
I think Catwoman's probably out of the question now, but other than that,
yeah,
as long as it wasn't, cooking woman or something like that.
Oh no.
Cooking, cleaning woman or something. Yeah.
A question for Chris. Brittas Empire. Could we ever see that return? Would you like to do that?
I would like to do it,
Hey.
yes. It will be interesting to see someone as verbally clumsy and insensitive
As Brittas in the 21st century.
It would. I mean, Mr. Brittas he kind of reminds me of an earlier version of Ricky Gervais's character in The Office. It's kind of like...
Yeah, there are parallels, aren't there?
There is, yeah. Very good parallels to that. So, yeah, it's good to hear that you'd do that. Where would you see Mr. Brittas being at this moment in time?
Well, he'd be quite high ranking in the European Union. I don't know what he'd be doing in the European Union, but he would have wangled his way into that.
Yeah, running the gym
in Brussels.
Yeah, the gym in the Brussels.
Because he had a brush with. We kept mentioning things like sort of European delegates and all that sort of stuff when we did Brittas. So he'd be definitely very much a Europhile.
Let's spread the word of fitness to a global audience and all that sort of stuff, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
But we went as far as a treatment for the Brittas Empire before it broke down a bit, and that was all very sort of 21st century in the way that Whitbury Newtown Leisure Centre was a sort of much a 90s sort of publicly run, leisure centre. The treatment dealt with a community centre with a lot more diversity and sort of other types of therapy and all that sort of stuff. And it had some great ideas, and it's a pity really that it did break down after the treatment stage. But you never say never. Once we get someone at the BBC, I think the stumbling block is with one of the writers at the moment.
Okay.
He's quite I could say quite precious about it, but I think he's just very protective of his work, and that's understandable.
Yeah.
So where am I being filmed? Where am I being filmed? Probably everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere,
If I am being filmed, yes, I'd love to do some more Brittas Empire, and if Richard ever gets to see this, come on, mate, let's do it.
Step it up, we want to see it.
Yeah, there you go.
So, one final question, guys. What is the future for you both? What are you doing away from Red Dwarf?
I do stand-up mostly.
Yeah.
Been writing a film I managed at a convention to get to a Hollywood star, so I hope he's sitting there reading it.
Oh,
although
good.
he might ask for another copy with more perforations in it.
Yeah. Any stand-up dates coming up?
I can't remember them, but yeah.
No, good. Well, if you see Hattie's stand-up show, go and see it, guys. Definitely, Chris.
Yeah, I'm sort of devoting my energies to promoting the new series of Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Which people here may not have seen, may or may not have seen. Everyone seen it? Good. Apart from that, I'm not really doing much at the moment. No, I'm resting from doing series 11 and 12 of Red Dwarf, which, as I said, was hard work but great fun.
Yeah.
And I'm perhaps most importantly, I'm a taxi driver to 2 teenage boys.
Oh right, okay.
Which is a job I'm sure many people here know. Many people of a certain age, generation, know all about. So yeah, they're at an age now where they're going to parties and sports events. They are my sons, yes, of course they're my sons.
Sons. So now Chris is a designated Uber driver.
I think you're being a little bit oversensitive about the. Yeah, but you're right. We have to clarify these things, don't we? Today, I mean, I'm still living in a century of more freedom. Well, we could leave it to people's imagination who they might be. But yeah, they're definitely my sons. Yes, so yeah, I'm sort of, supporting things at home, And yeah, I get sent various projects.
Yeah.
From showbiz.
Okay.
You know that you know I invariably turn down.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you've done something as creative as Red Dwarf,
Yeah.
it's very. I don't really want to do anything that's less good. So, you know, that is a slight problem. This Red Dwarf is, you know, is of a consistently high standard.
That's
I
it,
just don't want to do anything else, really.
Okay, right, thank you very much for your time, the pair of you. Remember, guys, at home, if you like the stream, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. Any of our content as well, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe as well. Chris and Hattie, everyone, thank you very much.